we're going to go to what you can watch at home. And this is a film, as I was talking about, Bob Trevino Likes It, that was sent to me. This is a film that had, like, where it has gone through the festival circuit. I think it bypassed cinemas in this country and just went straight to digital download. But we were given a preview screening saying, this thing is now out on digital download, if you want to tell your listeners. So you can find this film on digital download. It's not on any streaming platform. You have to pay for it. It's called Bob Trevino Likes This. It stars Barbie Ferreira and John Leguizamo. And the idea behind it is that the first thing you see in this film is you see Barbie Ferreira, who people might know from Euphoria if they watch that. And she's just sat down looking at a text, crying and crying and crying. And she's looking at a text from her boyfriend that says something along the lines of, "Hey Heidi, oh, it was so great seeing you last night. I can't wait to see you again and get you in my arms." Her name is not Heidi. And so she is crying at this thing because obviously it's just that her boyfriend is cheating on her. And she replies, "This is not Heidi." He goes, "Oh, my bad." And she just goes, "LOL, no big deal," while she's like bawling her eyes out. And you get to see that she is that kind of character. She's that kind of character who's sort of put upon by everybody. And then the next thing you do is you see her in a scene with her father, played by French Stewart. And you begin to get an inkling why she's a little bit like that, because French Stewart, who you might know from Third Rock from the Sun as the dim-witted alien Harry from Third Rock from the Sun, is totally different in this. He is kind of like, Sharon, do you remember when you watched I, Tonya, and you said about Alison Janney's character, about how she's just like a horrid person?
Yes.
This is like the male version of that. He is a horrid person. Where you see the first thing he does is that he's sitting down with her and he's showing her 3 different women that he's thinking of dating from the place that he's staying, from the sort of old people's retirement home he's staying. He's judging them on their looks and everything like that. And, "Oh, this one is a little bit too old for me." It's like, she's younger than you, Dad. It's like, "Yeah, do it." And he's just a horrible person. And he blames her for the fact that because her mom runs off, he blames her for the fact that he can't get a girlfriend because he has this child hanging around like a thing around his neck and all. He's a horrible person. And you get to figure that out, and then he blows up at her and he decides, "I'm not talking to you anymore." He calls the police on her when she comes to his house to sort of try and say sorry. He's like, I want nothing to do with you." So she decides to go on Facebook and see if she can find her dad. Her dad's name is Bob Trevino. She looks for Bob Trevino. She finds an account that doesn't have a picture. She thinks that might be my dad, and she tries to like him. She tries to add him as a friend. It turns out that that's another Bob Trevino. But this is a totally opposite of like, it's a guy who's just sort of like, it's John Leguizamo. He lives along with his wife. He's kind of like, a safety guy at a construction firm, but the boss of the construction firm is an absolute idiot. And he gets the messages that she sends, and he replies and says, "Oh yeah, no, sorry, no, I'm not related to you. I don't think I am." But they keep sending messages back and forth on Facebook. They keep sending messages back and forth. Eventually, they meet up in life, and then they spark up a real life friendship where she's thinking in her head, it's kind of like, "This is the dad I never had, and why on earth couldn't you be my dad?" And it's a really sort of like, it's a two-hander really when it comes down to it, between Barbie Ferreira and John Leguizamo. And it's just kind of like a really sweet film about these two people connecting when they don't really have anybody else to connect to. Like, she doesn't really have any other friends. And it's just about how they speak to each other, how they get to each other. It's not that plotty a film, but it's just about watching this relationship develop. And the performances are great. There is this one line that John Leguizamo says when he talks about how proud he is of his son, and the reason he's proud of him and the way he delivers the line, it is an absolute heartbreaker. It just gets you right in the feels. I thought it was quite good. As I said, it's not too plotty. I would give it a 4 out of 5. But it is a little bit of a hangout film. Get ready to just sit down with these characters and enjoy being with these characters. So I would recommend Bob Trevino Likes It, 4 out of 5. Find it if you are the kind of person that does pay to download films, find it. Or come join us on the podcast and I can give you a free link.